is 3051. Humanity has spread out amongst the stars, bringing their hopes, their fears, and their wars. The great houses and clans vie for territory and honor, using gigantic fighting machines known as battle mechs. You, as a child of that conflict, are about to join that war.
Greetings, MechWarriors, and welcome to devlog number 16. I'm Tina Benoit, and I'm sitting here with David Forsey, our senior designer, and Matt Newman, our producer. Today we'll be talking about the MechWarrior Academy, and I'm super excited for this because I have some friends who I want them to start playing MechWarriors, but I want them to wait until they can get the proper introduction and learn all the details of how to play MechWarrior. So I can't wait.
And that's the basis of this part of the project. The first time user experience in the old tutorial left some things to be desired. Mm-hmm. So what we wanted to do was provide stuff for new players and for old players. So the way we've structured this is the MechWarrior Academy. It consists of two parts. There's a new introductory training session, a tutorial, which has a new opening cinematic, which takes you through powering up, working on your basic move controls, weapons, basic movement, going through different gates and stages and races, and then a more detailed explanation of how you use targeting and how you actually kill mechs. Once you pass through this, then you go into the Academy, and the Academy is a sandbox. It's an open area that has some persistent activities and also particular events you can do. So the idea is the Academy is something that you can come in at any time. So you can come in from your home page and whatever mech that you've got equipped, and in there are events and activities. So as part of this sandbox, what you can do in this is there's a firing range, and a lot of this stuff I was trying to channel what my understanding was in terms of coming and using this. And besides not knowing what the basic controls and things were, part of it was understanding how the weapons work. So there's a firing range, and the difference in this firing range is when you shoot something, then a damage number pops up. So when you come in with your new build and whatever you've got, you can go in and fire at these things and find out what the damage is. So you can get an idea, come back out, try something new, try your changes. And
so testing grounds, but with more details.
So right? It's a testing ground. So, and then there are also mech swappers. So right there at the current, I think there's 11 different ones. So there's different mechs that are around there, a different selection, and hopefully we'll change these up every once in a while. And basically you stand in front of it, eject out, and you'll get a short little cinematic, so you can get a view of your mech and the other mechs down from ground level of where a pilot would be when they're walking.
It really gives you a perspective of the size as well.
Yeah, it's something that you haven't seen before in our game. And then you go up into the different mech, and you can keep swapping mechs however you want. The other parts that are there are right now a couple of challenges. One is the firing range, in which you have to shoot turrets, and every round, and you just have to shoot them and they destroy, and you move on. You have to do 8 in 30 seconds. Then the next round they get tougher and you have to do more damage, and it keeps going on until you can't do it in the time that's allowed. It's completely open-ended. It's just something for you to test your aiming, your speed of acquiring a target, and how much damage your current build can do. Then there's another one, which is a targeting practice, which is a series of objectives in which you have to kill mechs in specific ways. Right now it's in a formative stage because I really want the things to be able to fight back. But we've left it in there for the moment. And the last two are an obstacle course in which you get into your mech and you run through it, and stationary enemy mechs are firing at you while you're doing it. And the idea is to keep going around and around, and when you finish the round, again, your enemies get tougher. There's two versions of that. One, you start with a mech that you've got, and the running chord one, you start with your center torso, the armor gone, and your hit points, your structural damage down to something like 10 or whatever it is.
That's really good for practice.
And the idea is to go in there so that you can protect your center torso while you're taking things out, and you learn about twisting and attacking and protecting yourself.
So how did you start when you were going to design this? How did you start? Like, how did you approach, okay, we're going to make this tutorial?
So I tried to channel my own first-time user experience and the frustrations that I had while I was doing it. And I'd made, when I first came on the job, I'd run through the tutorial and run through it and played the game and sort of kept a list of the things that I found that I didn't know and I didn't understand. And like many people, you went to the web page and you tried to figure things out, and you had this keyboard mapping, which turned out to be incorrect, but you'd print it out or have it up in a different window so that you can reference it. So that's actually another feature that we have now, which is, and this is throughout the game, is if you hit F1, the default keyboard mapping is going to pop up.
That's really helpful, yeah.
So instead of having to worry about what these things are, you push that.
It works in a game as well?
Works in the game mode as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The other thing that we've got there is a field manual, and that's again across the board, so that when you hit escape in the game, currently it pops up and says, do you want to quit, do you want to do whatever else is you want to do. But now what pops up is, well, those buttons are in the corner, but the heads-up display stays up there, and when you click any one of the ones that are up there, a single field manual entry pops up and explains to you what all those symbols are. So if you've got something funny on the compass and you have no idea what it is, and you click on the compass, and it gives you a little legend that describes all the iconography that's in there. So
excellent.
So you can do this in the game, or you can do it in testing grounds, or you can do it in the academy itself, so you can get an idea of what's happening.
That's really neat. So how long have you guys been working on that?
So I first tried CryEngine, I think, in February.
Okay.
So it's been kind of 9 months.
Right.
So
So from the starting of designing, and then more and more people got involved, and
yeah, there was some design that's going on there, but work kind of started in February.
Okay.
And the thing is, again, designed to be open-ended. So right now we've got a few events that are in there, and a few things that are what we call passive or ongoing events, like the firing range and the mech swappers. But it's designed to be open-ended. So the whole structure of everything that's inside in the flow graphs and the scripts are that's going to be pretty easy to sit there. If we come up with something new, and we're open to suggestions, then we can add those, and we can try and use this so that people can train or test or do something else with their mechs, and expand this out to doing things like electronic countermeasures and scouting and other stuff that we can use. It is whatever we have sort of time and an inclination for.
Do you think you might get a tutorial for the mech lab, how to build a mech or things like that?
So the mech lab itself is separate. So we can't run things simultaneously in there. Once you're in a level, you're in a level, and the mech lab is separate. So if something's going to be done with that, we'd have to try something new and essentially start from scratch on that. It's not part of it. Unfortunately, just because the way the levels are constructed, and now you have to load an entire level.
Right. I think for first-time users, like just getting their handle on how to pilot the mech and learning what the basic skills are. But there is a whole other game to MechWarrior, which is when you get into the mech lab for the first time, you're like, what do I do? How do I build my mech to make it the most effective? And what can I swap in and out? And why can't I put this weapon here? So maybe down the road.
And hopefully by that time, though, that they'll be introduced to the community, they'll know about the forums, they'll know about the sort of online stuff that helps, and so that there's things there that can help them in doing all that kind of stuff.
Well, the tutorial's definitely been, the MechWarrior Academy's definitely been a long time coming, because we had a tutorial in there that was just basic movement and stuff like that.
Well, and it was worse because it was hand-holding.
Yeah.
So that you go through one thing, something would pop up, there'd be a screen of text, you'd have to read it, and then it was gone.
Yep.
So this tutorial tries to run you through and try and strikes a balance between just exploration, so you don't have to do things in a particular order, and a little bit of hand-holding to guide you through one thing at a time, so you don't have too much to deal with. And also the help screens, the F1 and the escape menu, now gives you a reference.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry so much about this information disappearing, because what did I need to do? How did I do that? Oh, press F1. There it is. That's the key I need. Or you're going, what does that symbol mean on the screen? Okay, hit escape, click on the HUD element. There, that's what that means. So, and when something new appears on it, so if you're equipping ECM or consumables, then those will appear on the HUD, and when you hit escape, then those things are then active to click. So.
Cool. Do you earn achievements or C-bills or anything throughout your...
Yes. So the basic tutorial now is you'll get there's 2 parts to the basic tutorial, and when you go through the very, very basics, then you get an achievement for doing that, and then completing the rest of it, which is the obstacle course and the targeting tutorial, then you've completed the basic stuff, and you get CBIL rewards for that. Possibly later on, there'll be CBIL rewards for specific events inside the academy. So,
Okay.
but for the most part, they're there not as a competition, but they're there for you to take your mech and either explore what it does or how much it does, or to train yourself and to practice doing particular things.
Right.
Cool.
So
Are you allowed to tell us what you're working on next?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know if you're allowed, or you don't know what you're working on next.
I don't know precisely what I'm working on next, because we've worked very hard to try and get this into stable, get everything working. It's a pretty large and complex level.
Right.
Much more complex than the actual gameplay in terms of how much scripting and coding and coding support that has to be in there. So, the exciting thing is we do have the rudiments of some AI. The AI doesn't move, the mechs don't move around, and they're not very smart about what they do, but they do track you and shoot at you.
Cool.
So hopefully that as we start producing more stuff, producing more behaviors into our enemy AI, then we can start adding that into the tutorial, into the academy in the different events, so it becomes challenging in a different way.
Cool. Maybe future AI.
Who knows?
The beginnings.
But, yeah.
It is the faint beginnings of that, yes.
Cool.
Very nice. Well, is that everything then?
Unless you have any questions for me.
No?
So I'm looking forward to learning how to be a better MechWarrior.
I'm really looking forward to practice. Like right now I'm just playing regular games to learn, but then there's keys that I always forget what does what, and it's really going to be great.
Yeah, and it should be, I don't know when the vlog is coming out, so it's either going to be available as you're looking at this or shortly afterwards. And there's also going to be a specific spot in the forums, so that you can ask the questions there, and I'll be perusing those things and taking ideas and other kinds of stuff, and take that into consideration.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for watching.